and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, September 26th, 2017.
I'll read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks is a high level of risk, and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice. Not making any recommendations, always for your further homework. Good morning, Sue here. Hope you had a great weekend. There's lots going on in the market, so with that, let's get right into today's video. If you're a regular viewer, you well know that I always start these videos off with a look at the Russell Index. I always want to make sure that before I add a new name to my watch list, I'm putting it forward in a rising market environment. And for that, I use the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000, and I step back to take a look at it on a 5-year monthly time frame. So we've been really keeping an eye on this wedge pattern up here that the Russell's been trading in really since the beginning of the year. So this is long-term support, kind of ignoring this for now. Orange is medium, and this purple line up here is short-term support. You can, we've been talking a little bit about this doji that happened in the month of July, that price was rejected right at our black diagonal line. August, we had that sell-off that brought us right back to the orange line of medium support, but look at September, a pretty bullish looking candle so far for the month. But having said that, we're coming into this area that may offer some resistance like it has since the beginning of the year. I'm going to move it away from the 5-year weekly to the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly. Here's the 1-year weekly. There's that orange line of medium support, the purple line of short-term support. You can see how price was rejected at our black line in February, in April, in July, and here we are now in September. Will we make it through, or will price get rejected again? I'm going to be extra careful in this area. I'm going to move it away from the weekly to the daily. So you can see we had a little bit of a doji looking candle on the close yesterday. Looks like we're getting sort of a flat to even open. So I want to see price continue higher and for us to hopefully get out of this big wedge pattern for once and for all. Maybe not in the days ahead, but we'll see. It's worth noting that Janet Yellen is going to be speaking at a luncheon today in Cleveland, Ohio. That's always worth noting, and she could say something that may move the markets. But with that, look at the Russell Index under our belts, and as we can see, I use this blue line as my guide, which is the 8-day EMA. When price on the Russell is up and over the blue, I'm adding new names to my watch list. So with that, let's go to today's pick. And that chart that I wanted to highlight for you this morning is Facebook, ticker symbol FB, trades on the NASDAQ exchange. It's actually not a new name for our watch list, it's a review of an old name. But when I spun through my charts this morning, Facebook really stood out to me, and I wanted to share that with you. So before I get into the chart, let me tell you a little bit more about the company. I think all of us are pretty familiar with Facebook. Huge, it's one of the FANG stocks, huge, big internet e-commerce social networking site. If you're familiar with me at Chart of the Day Cafe, you know I am not only about the technicals. I want to see a really nice, strong technical setup. I also want to see the fundamentals underneath the chart being really strong. And for me, I circle value and growth first and foremost. And Facebook has those two in spades. It's got a really nice high value score and a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 28%. It's a nice high number. Third thing I look for, it's not a must like value and growth, is a dividend. Unfortunately, Facebook does not pay a dividend, but the chart is a pretty nice one, so I'm putting it forward for your consideration and watch list as well. So with that, let's get into the chart. We're looking at the 5-year monthly. The first thing I want you to notice is that it's in this beautiful uptrend on the monthly chart. Several months ago, we had these two dojis and then it popped up. It's had some recent selling with technology selling off, but it may be at an area of opportunity. We will see. So I'm going to move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 9-month daily chart. We put Facebook forward here on this green circle day. I always say, for me anyway, I know everyone has their own way of doing things, but I want to see lift up and over the blue 8-day EMA. That would be my trigger. Lift up and over the blue. It got that lift and then it sold off a little bit, sort of made an equal low and then really took off. If you caught this move, that was a pretty nice one. It's had some selling recently, as it did in this area as well. We had that selling, so sometimes it's hard to put these forward, but if you have your rules in place and your triggers, you should be okay. So it's early for Facebook, but I will be keeping an eye on it in the days ahead to see if it gets some lift in this area and that move up and over the blue 8-day EMA. Along with our watch list pick, I also like to take a look at the sector that it's in, and for that we're looking at XLK, which is the ETF for the technology sector. You can see that it's been in a beautiful uptrend over the last 5 years. I'm going to zoom into this area here, go away from the 5-year monthly to the 9-month daily, and you can see that it consolidated here for a long time, then had that lift up and over my orange line of support. It's sitting right in that line right now, so we'll see if technology can resume that trend higher and pick up from here. So I will be checking this ETF as well as Facebook later today. I also like to take a look at seasonality, and couldn't find a seasonal chart for Facebook in particular, but note from equityclock.com, such a terrific site, I love this site, that the technology sector comes into seasonal favor at this time of year. So we've got technology sitting at that area of support, Facebook at a possible area of support, and seasonal strength coming into play. No guarantee that happens again this year, but always nice to know. Also, I like to take a look at FinViz. Facebook has nice analyst support with, you can check that yourself. But also this little clip from Jim Cramer. It's a FANG stock and one of his favorites. He likes to highlight these stocks when they sell off and come into those value zones. So I'll include this little clip with today's video as well. And so to recap, I started today's video with a look at the Russell Index, and we note that the Russell's in an overall uptrend. Having said that, we're keeping an eye on that wedge pattern, and we note that the Russell is coming into that upper range of the wedge and in that area that has offered resistance pretty much throughout the whole year. So will it get through? We don't know, but we're going to be extra careful in this area. Having said that, overall it's in an uptrend and price is currently up and over the 8-day EMA on the daily chart. We looked at the sector that Facebook is in, XLK. We note that it's in an uptrend on the 5-year chart and now at an area that may offer some support, that ETF. We looked at the chart for Facebook in an uptrend on the 5-year chart, and like XLK at an area that may, emphasis on may, offer some support. Facebook has a great value score. It's got a great growth score, forecasted earnings growth rate of 28%. Does not pay a dividend, so that's not checked. Does not have a 3 and 8 EMA cross, which I look for. So it has not triggered. It's early yet, emphasis on that. But it does have seasonal strength coming into favor. It does have that analyst support, and it looks as though earnings are on November 1st. As a reminder, these videos go out every Tuesday and Thursday morning. If you like receiving them, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chart of the Day Cafe, by hitting the subscribe button on our homepage. That way you'll get the videos as soon as they are released. With that, I'll leave you. Have a great next couple of days, and see you Thursday.